Okay, so about your wife,
Mhm.
I think you were saying something about she to joining in the affiliate marketing, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Because she
so
works majorly, she does business, and at least she has PCA to assist at home, and she has the time a bit more than me.
because there's my favorite quote that I love so much. They say, whatever you don't pay for with money, you pay for with time. So, like, those are the two major factors. Because one of the things I think, let me define this session a bit. One of the things that we are going to be looking at is, first of all, how to get started. Of course, you already started, you done your background checks and all. So I don't think I would want to stress you with the beginner clinical. So let's look at we'll look at how to um hasten the process of making money, or rather how to make money fast from
Yeah,
it, how to make money fast from it. Then we look at the factors that are going to, because there are factors that will influence it. There's no one way to make money fast. There are factors
yeah,
that are going to influence this particular decision. Yeah.
yeah,
So then we look at what the top athletes, I think hopefully I'll be able to handle all of these things. So what most those top athletes, those top figures that they are seeing. So we
yeah,
look at also there are four factors that are influencing that particular action for you to start seeing that money. And there is a way now for you to, the first way is a way you can actually jump those four factors. Not really all of them, but
okay,
how you can eventually scale through. Like it's more like an advanced stuff
okay,
you get. But yeah, so but then we'll start with what the top affiliates are doing that most persons don't really talk about. So what top affiliates are doing. And I'll look at four factors that are influencing the huge amount of money. Then we'll look at how you can make money first. So, which is the paid way. It's eventually using your money to, you are going to leverage your money. Let me not just, let me give you a tip of the iceberg. Yeah. You're going to leverage your money. So there are two ways. You pay with time or you pay with money. The decision is yours, which is what I always tell everybody. But one thing I encourage people, like people that pay with time are like people that don't have any stream of income, like they are just starting out from scratch. But I tell my most people that are working civil servants and all, I tell them, once you have an income stream, it will be foolish for you not to leverage on it. For you to say, oh, I want to start building this thing from scratch. It's just going to be foolishness because time does not wait on anybody. I think there is a book I was reading, The Millionaire Fastlane. So from that book, it was talking about, it was more of redefining the whole get rich quick stuff. It was talking about like most people that are playing themselves into get rich quick. It's not like it's really the get rich quick that is the problem, that phrase. However, the problem is that they want to get rich easy. And that's why they get played. Right. If you check most of those Ponzi schemes, they are just telling you that, oh, this is an easy way for you to make money, to get rich fast. And then they will now tell you, oh, put your money here and go and rest. It doesn't make sense. Money is a means of exchange of value. So if you're not giving something in value, something valuable in return, what's the law? But there's a way to get rich quick. Like most people won't really talk about. There's hard work. Oh.
yeah,
Now the and one thing people are missing about get rich quick is that get rich quick, the way it works is you might have, if you get a fast lane, because most of those things are called fast lane. If you get a fast lane and then you eventually get to stay on this fast lane, it's literally going to take you like, let's say, building the foundations, the basics, and all of that stuff. It might take you like 2 years or 3 years to get your foundation and the basics
okay,
and all. But the moment you've been able to understand how this thing works and then you plug in the system, like maybe for you to build a system and process around whatever you're doing, it might take you years, maybe 2 years, 3 years. But the moment you get it, you are eventually going to move at a speed that is 10 times that of people that were just trying to like leverage their own personal power or might. Let me just give an example to make it clear. Now, I think there's a story. There were two persons. I think it was about building the pyramids in Egypt. So one of the kings called I think he had two siblings also. No, not siblings. I think cousins. Is it cousins? Am I correct? Or nephews? I think it's nephews. I think nephews is the correct word. So he's like their uncle. So he called both of them and told them that, hey, for you to inherit the kingdom, because he didn't have any child, he said, for any of you to inherit the kingdom, the first person that can successfully build a pyramid would eventually get a particular part of the kingdom, maybe 1/3 of the kingdom plus riches and also access to the throne. So he now told them to go forth and go and get it done, right? So there were two of them. One of them went to start doing it with his might. So while he was building out pyramids and all of that stuff and all, the other guy went to his home and he was trying to design like a machine that can make his work faster. So I think he was trying to develop a tractor also. So while the other guy was doing things, he was moving and actually they told them that they don't need the help of anybody. They have to do it on their own. So that means they're not going to employ laborers to do it. So they have to do it by themselves. So the other guy started carrying the blocks and all of that stuff. He passed the first stage. I think after 3 months, the other guy's land is still bare. Nothing has been done. 6 months after, this guy has done like, I think about 12 coaches or so, or 8 coaches. His brother hasn't started anything yet. And he was surprised, like, why does this guy want to get himself killed? So he went to the brother, found out that the brother was just fiddling around with machines, and I think he used straw or something. He was trying to come up with a lever system that can help him carry the stones and all. So this other guy was like, Alpha, you are not doing anything. Seems like you want to get the wrath of the king upon you and all of that. So, but the brother was like, don't worry, he's working on it and all. And the guy kind of mocked him, scoffed at him and left. So when he left, he went there and he got to a place that it's now difficult for him to lift the weight of the stones up to the coach. I think he got to around the 10th coach or so, and it was now very difficult. So he had to go and pay a bodybuilder to start learning how to like build muscles and all. So I think at about the 8th month or so, the brother came with a machine, like people in the villagers gathered, and the brother, he finally worked on the machine. He came with it and he started building. I think it took him about an extra 2 months to get to where his brother, the level his brother was. So his brother was still continually trying to do things. I think after a year and 6 months, his pyramid was complete. And he was able to make all of this money. I think the brother still continued toiling, trying to use his hand to do everything. And I think he eventually died. He died at when he got to I think it was left either 2 coaches to complete his pyramid. And that was when he died. So the moral of the story is eventually telling us that, okay, fine. Most times you have to leverage on certain systems and processes to help you supercharge whatever you are doing. Now, these things, now when you are doing at the foundational base of it, and this is what I tell most of my students, I tell them, if you want to do affiliate marketing, just learn how to sell. Forget about all those shabby things that people are going to do. All those ones are easy. Building funnels and all of that. Like understand sales, the concept of sales, buyer's journey, sales psychology, like the psychological aspect of it, because you are dealing with humans and humans buy out of emotion and we justify with logic. So if you can learn and leverage on that particular aspect, then every other thing it's just going to fall in place. I tell them, you can literally sell ice to an Eskimo if you understand how to sell. You get so now from this story that I just told you now, basically the foundational aspect, the time that you are doing some things, people will look at it like you are just doing nonsense. But when the money comes, or when you are done with it, you can leverage on that and supercharge it, and you can even sell it for more than the price it is for. What do I mean? Let's look at, this is just like a definition of inventions or inventors rather. Look at Mark Zuckerberg when he got Facebook. If he wants to sell Facebook now, we all know how much he would sell it. And if he decides to sell Facebook, he literally will never go hungry till he dies. Look at there is one move Mr. Easy made. He had a portfolio company, Vidya. He sold that portfolio company for $1 billion. Currently, that's a whole lot of money. Like, if he decides not to do anything again till he dies, that money can last him with smart investment moves too. So he talked about the Fastlane, I think one of the Fastlanes is sales. can be sales of knowledge product, information products, and all of those things. Another fast lane is invention. Like you create a system or process around something, and of course you have to sell it. So you build and then you sell. You build and sell. Then you try to build something that can solve problem and all of that stuff. Right. So I just wanted to demystify the concept of get rich quick. So most times I think I would even be using it well in my presentations, right? Because most people, I think because of the whole negative attachment to get rich quick, most people tend to run away from things that look like they will get rich quick, even though there's hard work in it. So I feel affiliate marketing is just one of it because it's under sales.
Yeah.
So in as much as you are not going to be selling your own product, but you are going to be selling other people's product. Advantage is that when you learn how to sell other people's product, eventually when you start selling yours, you can leverage on multiplying. I think it's called effort multiplication or human capital multiplication, something like that, where you get to get other people to sell your products for you. That's using affiliates as a means of increasing your own sales. So you have your product and you have if you can get about 1,000 people that can sell that product for you, no matter how much they're selling it, you can literally fold your arms and sit in one place and they would get everything done.
Yeah. I mean, Nike too is doing some affiliate program. Amazon too, they are doing some affiliate programs too.
Yeah, Amazon has theirs. A whole lot of foreign companies has affiliate programs. And the good thing, what I tell people is that affiliate marketing is still a new thing in Africa because I don't basically look at Nigeria when I do my things. I look at Africa at large. Because people feel that, the market is saturated in Nigeria and all of that stuff. But if you can look beyond Nigeria, you make money. I mean, I've spoken to people from Ethiopia, Kenya. I think I've spoken to someone from South Africa. I've also spoken to someone from can I remember? There's one of these countries. I can't really remember, but one of these African countries as well. So Ghana as well, yeah. So the opportunities in Africa rather it's still a very, very baby opportunity, and most people are jumping on it. So if you can start thinking of how can I reach a larger community, and how can I also make sure that I sell to Nigerians, because selling to Nigerians is fun, very fun, in as much as they are difficult people, and
Yes,
or
we
you
have the
won't blame
number.
them because of the economy. You won't blame anybody. It's all rigged against us. But selling to Nigerians is fun. I tell people that I enjoy selling to Nigerians, even though they give headache, because if you are having it easy, you cannot get experience on certain things. But when you get on the hard way and people are giving you headache, and you learn how to eventually move around all those obstacles, like how to clear the obstacles and get to the sale, it's going to make it easy when you are even selling to those easier prospects, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before I start moving into this topic proper, I would love to take some questions from you regarding, maybe depending on how far you've gone with affiliate marketing, and I know there are certain things you want to find out. So let's
So my question is, all those they'll say get this URL, or you get this URL, somebody buys from you. So where do you
yeah.
post those URLs? Because I've been trying to check,
Okay.
maybe I'll check your Twitter account if I see you posting anything like that or thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay, so the basic affiliate marketing, what a newbie would do when they get into affiliate marketing is that they'll copy the affiliate link, they'll jump on everywhere and start pasting it up and down to see and try to gamble if they are going to make sales or not. Now, there's no gamble to this. Whatever you do is what you get. It's a garbage in, garbage out scenario. Now, let's take, for example, or rather, instead of you going through that route, there are ways you can decide to do blogging. You can decide to do email marketing, or you can decide to do WhatsApp marketing, which is the one you are really seeing everywhere, WhatsApp status and all of that stuff, right? So, but then before you start doing all of these things, there are some things you have to have into consideration. There is something called a sales funnel. A sales funnel is a series of steps that your customer or your potential clients will have to go through from when they are prospects rather to when they get to customers.
Yeah.
So now what it means is that, let's take for example, someone comes. First of all, there's a stage called awareness, then there's consideration, and there's conversion. Now for awareness, that is when they are I don't want to eventually I'm trying to jump at, like, this is like a master class, and it's going to, if I start going deeper, it's going to start getting confusing. But I just want to give, I want to give it.
I'll let you know.
No, there are things that you will learn eventually when we get started. Well, I want to like give you the layman, because the way I'm teaching it now, if I start talking about awareness, there are 5 stages of awareness. The moment I move into it, it's going to make everything confusing for you, because if I talk about 5 stages of awareness and I talk about consideration and I talk about conversion, it's more like I'm giving you a sales master class, and that's not what this session is really all about. So I want to keep it basic and simple, okay? Okay, so now where you eventually send out your the way where you send out or where you share your URL, like I told you, blogging is one, email marketing is one, WhatsApp marketing is another one. WhatsApp marketing is fast, which is why we tell newbies to start out with WhatsApp marketing. But if you have money, I would encourage you to move into email marketing, blogging, and WhatsApp marketing, like 3 of them. Of course, with experience, you get to understand how to manage them. But now for blogging is more like you are going to be providing value on your blog or your website. Then you post out valuable content. Like, you will have to do research and ask yourself, these people now that want to buy these things from me, what exactly are they looking for? What problems do they want to get solved? Then you start solving those problems for them, answering the solution, like giving them answers to the problem that they are looking for. And at the end of it, you are going to give out what is called a call to action, which is click here to get started, or click here to learn, and hey, if you are interested in getting started, I made a free video that can teach you how to do this in this. Click here to find out more, or click here to learn more. And the reason why you want them to click there to learn more, you're not telling them to click here to buy, because most of the times these people are considered as product unaware, right? You want to get them to be aware of the product, or some of them might not even know that they have a problem they want to solve. Like, that is me going back to stages of awareness. There's unaware, there's most aware, there's product aware, there's solution aware, there's problem aware. Like, those are the 5 stages. So people are unaware. Like, there are people that don't even know that they have a problem to start with. They are living life, but they don't know that that life they are living is actually a problem to them. So it's left for you to, there's something called a VSL, video sales letter, for you to, through your video sales letter, to teach them and make them understand that, hey, you have a problem. Or even through your adverts. Now, like, talking about sales and all of that stuff, if you really want to, the advert I'm going to push out to people that are product aware is different from the advert I'm going to push out to people that don't even know that they have a problem at all. Now, if I'm pushing out a problem to people that don't even know they have a problem at all, I might just come from the angle of, have you been struggling with living your daily life, and it seems like you just want to give up with life? Like, you don't even understand where you are. You feel like everything is a waste, and you are literally done. Like, you are literally at the edge, and you just want to give up, and all of those stuff. I move them from that place. I move them to motivate. I say, chances are it's not your fault, right? So what is actually happening to you is something known as this. And I've taken out time to explain how you can get over this in this number of video, in a 1-hour training video. Click here to watch more. Click here to find out how. Click here to learn more about this, right? Now, they don't know that I'm taking them to a place whereby they are going to get a product eventually. But I just move them from a place of where they are, the problem they are currently facing, right? Which is like giving up in life, right? To move them to a place where, okay, in that training, I'm going to break a couple of belief systems. And then when I break this belief system, I'm now going to make them understand that, okay, hey, for you to be able to, why do the reason why you are still in this place is because you'll not be able to redefine your purpose. And if you redefine your purpose, you'll be able to find out something to do that can give value to people, that can even make you have that sense of fulfillment. And now one of those things I can now tell them, and there are a couple of things that you can literally do, which is this. And I can now list out different solutions of which sales, affiliate marketing, and all of this stuff can be part of it. And then I can now tell them that if you're interested in any of this solution, then you are going to watch another video. Now, that other video is to get them to become solution aware. And that's where I now start teaching them about the concept of affiliate marketing. I now tell them the story of how it has been changing people's life. And then I now pitch the product to them for them to get started and all of that stuff. So it's like a journey. And you as a salesperson have to have it at the back of it. This is one of the reasons why most people are not winning in the game of affiliate marketing. They've failed to learn these things. And another thing is, you might see someone making millions today, and then tomorrow, you might not see them hitting those millions anymore, right? They were just focused on the sales aspect. Now, there are things I tell people, do not for anything go and start lying to people because you just want to make money and all of that stuff. I tell them, see, be comfortable with the amount you are making and enjoy your learning process. Right? Be comfortable with whatever you are making now. Enjoy your learning process, knowing fully well that it's going to take you 10 years to live your desired dream life. So how you build it, the basic foundation is like about 2-3 years. So whatever you do within these 3 years is going to determine how the next 7 years is going to be for you. And if you are going to hit your desired goal in the next 10 years. So it's a whole lot. It's a gamble because it's a very difficult place to be in where you are being ethical with your sales. But the advantage is that you are going to learn a whole lot. Now, these other people, if they want to create courses, most of them that I know, when they want to eventually create a course, they still create a course centered around affiliate marketing. I mean, it's not bad, right? It's not bad, but for you, like for example, now one of my visions is to have a sales academy, at least the best in Africa by the grace of God. Now, now understanding that this is not going to be an easy fit, and sales as it is not just about affiliate marketing, it's about everything, the totality of it. There's sales psychology, there's influence, there's persuasion, there's objection handling, there's traffic generation, there's funnel creation, there's conversion optimization. Like there's a whole lot in it. It tells me that, guy, you need to learn all of these things, understand it, put it into practice before you can even come out to start teaching people how to do these things, right? And that makes me take on a different trajectory than other persons have. And I don't mind the foundation phase, right? Because I understand the building I'm about to erect. So if the foundation is going to have a depth of 6 feet, when I'm under that 6 feet and I'm trying to lay the foundation, somebody that is building a bungalow must have completed their building and seen results before I even get to the surface level. Because first of all, I have to go down and then I'll have to start coming up again. So more like a seed has to go down before it can germinate, right? So I have to go down before I can now start coming up again. And then when I get to the surface level, now remember, other people have started seeing the results of their hard work and all of that stuff. But I still understand where I'm going to. But by the time you start building those buildings, coach by coach, before you even get to the 50th floor, 60th floor, these other people have been reaping whatever they are having. But the moment your building is complete and you activate, it's like a 100x push from like whatever that person has made in 10 years, you can literally make in 6 months or in 1 year. But now most people are not that patient to go through that particular phase, right? So this is kind of moving towards mindsets.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I don't know, like I'm very strong on mindset. Like my core values are mindset, accountability, and morals, right? My morals are what guides me to be ethical with sales, and aside sales alone, because I tell people that sales is a lifestyle, right? Sales is a lifestyle, and whoever you are, when you understand your purpose, it has to translate across your life. You have to make sure that whatever you are doing. If I'm not going to be telling lies to people in life, real life scenario, and I'm to sell to someone, then I have no reason whatsoever to go and tell the person a lie and then hide it under the guise of, oh, it's just business or it's business lie. I don't do so. Like, I don't believe in it. It's not one of my values, right? It doesn't align with my value, right? Yeah. Accountability is me. Like, it's one of the things that you are going to need in business, in life, online. Like, you have to tell yourself that this is my fault. Like, you have to just take responsibility of it. And then accountability demands that, okay, how can I prevent this from happening again? You try to study the patterns and all of that stuff. Then your mindset is like your biggest arsenal. Like, once a man is defeated in his mind, it's all over. Yeah. Right. So like that's the reason why I like focusing on mindset. I love focusing on mindset a lot. So even if eventually maybe, because when I tell people, I start telling them about mindset and I start going deeper, there are persons that I'm having a session with, I might not go this deep with them, because one is, I look at their mind. Can their mind be able to carry the hard work that is facing them in front? Because people look at the figures, it's sweet. They rush, right? They rush to go and get those figures. And then you eventually, I've had people that say, oh, I just paid. And then they did not tell me that this was how it's going to be. They just said it's going to be easy. And I tell them, see, this thing is never going to be easy. I always like saying it too. I love working with people that are realistic, right? I'll tell you, this thing is not going to be easy. The money will come. Like, the money is fast, it's sweet. You will enjoy it. But there is a place of hard work that must be acknowledged. So I always love to set out the mind right. Your own, I think when I got started, it took me 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of implementation, 2 weeks of learning, 2 weeks of implementation, that is roughly a month. I made my first amount. And after 3 days, I made another amount. I think I closed that week with about 60,000 naira. And that was where I was like, wow, oh, this thing works. And I put seriousness into it. I think after a month, my very first month of implementing what I've learned from affiliate marketing, I closed that month with about, I think 84,000 naira. Was it 84? Yes, it was 84. And before the next month was ending, I was up to about 170 or 180 or thereabouts. Now, the reason why I share this with people, I still go ahead to tell them that when I got started with affiliate marketing, I told myself that I didn't know how to sell. I told myself that I don't know how to sell online. So I said, if I'm going to learn how to sell online, I need to first of all learn how to sell. So when I did these things, I pitched my goal at, I told myself that I'm going to make my first 6 figures from affiliate marketing in 6 months. And I'm going to make my first sale in 3 months. What that made me to do was to tell myself that, hi, guy, you are going to keep learning. You are going to learn between now and I think between now and 3 months, learn as much as you can so that you can supercharge everything. So I was very, 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 very heavy on learning. I made sure that even when I made my first 2 sales, the 60K I made then, I removed about 50,000 naira to get 2 extra courses then on how to sell online and objection handling and all. Like, I was really investing. So far, I've spent over 150 to 200 or 300 on extra courses. Like, I buy courses from foreigners a lot, and I also buy courses from Nigerians, because most times there are certain restrictions that we have as Nigerians that you can only learn those things when you get local courses. So I buy both local courses and international courses, yeah. And books, also another thing that have helped me on my journey. Like, there are lots of books that are there that has helped me on my journey that I always recommend to people, no matter what it is. Like, a lot of them, and there are some that I've not even read yet. There are some that I've not read yet, but I know that I'm going to need them at a certain point. Like, there are some that are even references to whatever I want to do. For example, I have something I want to launch, maybe a funnel. I can go through a certain book. There are books like that that can help you look at, okay, try to structure something, research. Basically, everything is all about research. You have to research your customer to understand their behavior, understand a lot of things, so that when you want to activate, you have that edge over them. You can literally predict what they are going to say. You can predict how they are going to feel. You can predict a lot of things. Then with these predictions that you have, when they eventually come in for session, you can literally, you already know the cards that are going to play out, and you know how to counter those cards. So it's like it's a game. The game in selling, it's more like a game of psychology. It's more like a game of psychology. Yeah, whoever holds the upper hand win. And for you to have the upper hand, you just have to leverage on your authority or on the authority of another person. But I always advise people to build their own authority. And for you to become an authority person, you just have to do your surface level positioning well. So you position, however you position yourself, that is how people see you. So when you get started with affiliate marketing, depending on the product you choose, that's going to depend on how you are going to position yourself. So, and I tell people that stop focusing on the product. Stop focusing on the product. For example, now you are selling a weight loss product. If you go out there and tell people that I'm selling weight loss products and all of that stuff, you won't really, you will just be seen as the regular salesman. But if you position yourself as a weight loss expert who is providing value on how to live a healthy life to a specific set of people, for example, you can say that you are a fitness trainer and dietitian for people that are struggling with diabetes. You teach them how to live healthy, do exercise, and all of that stuff. That can be your own niche. Like that's your micro niche, because you've been able to say, hey, I'm in fitness, but I'm not just in fitness. I'm doing fitness and diets, but not for everybody. I'm doing it for people that are diabetics. You can even niche for that and say, but not for all diabetic patients. I'm doing it for diabetics that are aged 40 and older. So now you are giving them two things. You are teaching them, you are giving them how to handle their diets and live well at old age. You are also giving them how to handle fitness at old age. So it's a space that a lot of people are not going to be there. So you have less competition and you are focused on the people that you are actually catering to. Now you want to talk to them specifically. Your copies is going to guide you on everything. Like this is the very first stage. If we decide to get started today, that's the very first stage you're going to do. Like you need to identify who exactly are my target audience. That's where we start, because it's going to help you understand how to write copies that speak to these people, how to build marketing campaigns that speak to them, what are their problems that are facing, what are the likely objections that will stop them from buying. Like your audience research is more like everything. So, but once you are done with it, then eventually you will not necessarily have any problems. So for you, just to answer your question simply on where you can paste your links, you can either use blogs, give out value to people and then drop the link. You can use WhatsApp marketing and then use something called a video sales letter. After they've watched the video and they're interested in buying, you give them the link. The link is like the last thing that comes. So until the person is ready to make that purchase, that's when you can now give out the link to them. You don't post your link anywhere on social media. Now for Twitter, the way Twitter conversion happens is that you have to engage in, there's something called 3x comment method on Twitter, like whereby you kind of, there is a strategy. You post about 2 threads a day. You drop about 30 other posts, that's like tweets, about 30 tweets daily. And then you also make about, I think about either 50 comments or thereabouts on, and these things are valuable comments. So on thought leaders pages, people that you are following, influencers and all of that stuff, you push out, like you always have a take that is valuable, that teaches people, and you add to what they've said already, right? So you don't just conquer and move. Like it's a strategy for building followers on Twitter. So that's one of the reasons, like one of the things you can do. Now, understanding, remember when I talked about sales funnel, the conversion funnel. So your goal, first of all, you are doing that stuff is for you to be, for people to be aware of who you are. Like you're trying to spread out your tentacles wide and you want to be in that awareness stage. So you are going here, dropping valuable stuff, trying to gather a community around you, and people that love your take, they get to follow you. And of course, don't be stingy with your follow. You can eventually follow them back. There's nothing there, right? So you get, now by the time you are doing that stuff, when they now start consuming your content, they start considering like, oh, this thing this person is doing, they start liking you. Because first of all, there are 3 things you need to understand for people to buy from you. They need to know you, like, and trust you. No, by the time they know you and they started liking you, over time, for you to just get their trust might just be the way you are posting your content, and it's kind of validating the stage they are, or it's relatable, or maybe it's motivational, right? Educational, motivational, relatable, and validation. Like these are basically contents that people resonate with online. And of course, in our daily life, like we tend to vibe with people that validate whatever we are doing, and people that give us motivate us and all of that stuff. So it's like it's there. So by the time you start putting this thing, these people get to start trusting you. You might just put out a tweet or a post that, hey, I've been making so amounts online and all of these things and all of that stuff, and I've decided to like give out to my community. Of course, you have followers, and I eventually want to give out. I've been able to, you can come from a place of, let's say, solution headline. So you tell them that, oh, and I've been able to find out this way that you can achieve this result in little or no time. For example, you can say, and over the years, I've been able to find out a lot of the mistakes that people make that eventually make them not to make money as affiliate marketers, or mistake that people make that eventually make them to lose out. Or in fact, you can even say, and I've been able to find out a new way of you making up to 150,000 naira weekly from the comfort of your house without even stressing yourself. And this is not one of those things that are out there. This is actually this, and you can tell them, you can drop a comment, you can tell them, comment, you can say comment, supercharge, or anything you want to do. Comment supercharge, like this tweet, retweet it, and follow me, and I'm going to send you a DM on how to go about it. It can be that you tell them, oh, I've been able to arrange a 3-hour video training that is going to help you achieve these results, right? And you tell them, comment supercharge, and make sure to like, follow, and I'm going to send you a DM. Now, you are using it to do, there's something called follow farming, although I'm not a fan of it. But there's something called follow farming. Like that's what you're going to do. That's what it's, you say?
Follow for follow. Follow for follow.
No, this one is not follow. This one is not follow for follow, but that I know that follow for follow thing, sha. That one is that one is on its own. But this one is like you giving out something valuable to people for them to perform an action. So they have to follow you. Now, most people trick people into doing this. Like when people follow you, comment, and or they don't eventually send out anything to them, but they found followers from Twitter. You get, so they found, so it's called follow farming. I'm not really a fan of it. I've seen people do it, but I'm not a fan of it. So the one I can tell you is that, okay, you can put out a link and tell them, all right, so if you're interested in watching the video, click this link to watch. When they click the link, they are going to come to your WhatsApp DM, because you want to do, there's something called remarketing, follow up. So you want them to be seeing your WhatsApp status so that they will you keep being in that consideration phase in their face, like you are there every time. Because once you send out something and then you mute, people are going to forget you. So you keep on posting out content, you do your follow-ups and all. So whatever you are doing, no matter how you want to get traffic, the conversion phase is on WhatsApp, especially for WhatsApp marketing. Remember, I told you WhatsApp marketing. I've talked about blogging. I talked about email marketing is like advanced. We'll talk about it later. But WhatsApp marketing is like where you're going to start with converting. People just tell you it's expensive, and if you don't do your research, you avoid it. But it's not expensive.
At least that one. I think that one is faster.
It's faster. It converts faster, but depending on how much you spend and depending on what you are giving out, that will depend on how well you build your email list.
Sorry, so, how do you know that Gmail list?
Email list. You just have to give out. Yes, you have to give out something valuable to people. For example, you can give out a free ebook that is going to teach people how to make 20,000 naira in 7 days, or let's say even how to make 50,000 naira in 7 days. That can be your lead magnet. Now, your lead magnet might be a checklist of how to ace your next interview, depending on what you are selling, depending on the product you are selling. So, it's just a valuable piece of information that your client, your potential clients, remember, we've been able to define your ideal audience, your target audience, a valuable piece of information that they deem so important that eventually they can literally give out their email address in exchange for it. It's like a trade by barter stuff, but of course there's an intent to sell to them. So, but when they come in, there's something known as there's something called an indoctrination sequence or a welcome series that you write. Of course, you can hire an email marketer to do that for you. I think if you're going to do emails, if you're going to write email series and all, you can get an email copywriter to create an indoctrination sequence for you. That is, if you don't remember when I told you about the money aspect, you are going to be spending money on a lot of things, but these things are just going to be one time. For example, your email sequence indoctrination, once you pay your email marketer to do all those things, it's a one-time thing. Unless you want to work with them, maybe after 6 months, you tell them, hey, I want you to optimize my open rates. I want you to look at my conversion rates. I want you to so that's where you now start doing things like conversion rate optimization, right? Like that's where you can need the services of that person again. For example, your copywriter can write like 5 different ads for you, and you're like, okay, I'm going to run this advert for 6 months or 1 year. I'm going to be rotating them, right? And those are your ads. Once you get your high performance adverts, you can now splurge all your money into it. I mean, you can splurge your money into it. Just so I don't really get to waste much of time, but because most of the questions you're asking, I think I can be able to answer them when I talk about these things. So let me try to talk about some of these things so that you understand it. But okay, I think I'll ask that question later, but let me explain something so you understand.
Okay.
But for the email list stuff, is it clear?
Yeah, yes.
How about the sharing your link? Is it also clear?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, so let's look at before we look at how to make money first. So let's look at the top affiliates. What exactly are they doing? So first of all, I'm going to group this into 4 things. So I'm going to look at input or effort. I think I've been able to explain effort here. I don't need to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Like the amount of effort you put in.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to buttress on it. Another thing there is, let's take for example, both of us are putting in the same effort, but I'm putting in more work in terms of time. Maybe I'm doing like let's say I'm putting in like 4 hours for business, or let's say 5 hours or 8 hours rather. Let me go for the max, the extreme. So maybe I'm putting in 8 hours for business, and maybe someone else is putting like 2 hours for business. We are not going to expect the same results, even if we are putting in the same effort.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be the same results. Because I remember there was a period that I was really I was doing sale calls, 1 hour call sessions for like 8 hours. I normally start by 9, and then I take calls back to back from 9 till sometimes 8:10 p.m.
Wow.
Not like those were the days I really worked myself out, and I learned a lot from it. Like that period was when I wanted to learn about sales call closing and all. And the experience I've gotten from that particular, I did it for like a month or 2. I made over 100 sales calls that period, and my conversion rate was about, I think I was converting at about roughly 60 to 80% or thereabout. Like, because most of the persons that went through my sessions were always like, I want to get started. Some of them, of course, Nigeria, they'll be like, the money is not there. And one of the principles and my ethics that I do is I'll never push someone to go and get money. Like, it's your choice to however you want to make the money, how bad you want it. I'm not going to force you and tell you, but I'm going to teach you how to make the money, right? I'm going to teach you a faster way to raise money, but I'm never going to because most times, because of accountability and all, and I'm very careful about cause and effects, right? I understand maybe because of how much pressure you've put on someone due to scarcity and urgency, they may eventually get to go and try to raise the money from a wrong way. And at the end of it all, if it backfires, if we want to be real to ourselves, somehow, the whole effect is going to come back to you because you are the one that actually pushed them into that. Although that is them lacking accountability, right? Because you never told them to go and do anything illegal. That's them lacking accountability. But looking at the place of morals and cause and effect, you were part of the causative agents for that action. Right. So I try to anything that is going to get me in a dicey situation whereby someone is going to say, hey, you made me do this and all of that stuff. I try to avoid it. Like I try to avoid all the things. So but then I give people benefit of doubt. Like I just feel it's more of coming from a place of abundance mindset. I've lost sales. There was someone I converted one time, and she was like, oh, thank you very much for giving me this thing, for giving me the push and all of that stuff. She went to someone else and she made payments. It really pained me. She came back and told me, hey, I've been able to subscribe, I've signed up, and this is, I'm really grateful that you gave me the encouragement, the push and all of that. I was like, oh, God. It really paid me. That period, I lost 3 sales that week. That was about 90,000 naira. You can, and it was very painful. It was very painful, but I've learned a lot from sales. I've learned about detachment, easily detaching from things. Like, I don't attach to people like emotion. I can be emotionally attached to you, committed to you right now, but the moment you just tell me that, hey, I'm not worth it, or this is not worth it, I detach easily. Like, that's one of the things I've learned from sales. Another thing I've learned from sales is that, see, you are just bound to eat breakfast no matter how you want to see it. Like, that's the what is it called again? Like, people are just bound to shock you, right? And handling rejection, that's another thing that sales is going to teach you. Then sales is also going to teach you communication, effective communication. That's another thing you're going to learn from sales. If not that I'm teaching, because this session was more of a teaching session. If not that I'm teaching, that's why I'm the one having all the talks. If we were to have, if we were to have a normal sales conversation, I wouldn't be talking much. Like, I let you come to the session, and then I hear out everything you want. Of course, we are going to get to that other end, that part of it. But basically, if you're having a sales conversation, I don't get to talk much. There's something called the sales script. There are some questions I can ask, and then looking at those questions, I can know how to answer you, how to take you to the next phase for you to get to, and all of that stuff. Right. So that's it. So let me look at input efforts. We've talked about input efforts. Another factor, there are 4 factors. Another factor that is going to influence the amount of money you start making, because I'm looking at the amount of money. Then after that, we'll look at factors influencing how fast you make this money. Right. Another factor that is going to influence the amount of money you're going to make is, I've talked about your effort is how much time you're putting in. Then your level of experience is another thing. So, and I believe I've been able to talk about a lot of things considering about sales rather, and how well you can be, or how much of a better salesman you can be if you actually take time to learn a lot of things about sales. And for the experience, how well can you handle objections? Objections are like someone lying to you, because prospects lie, like sometimes they lie. So someone lying to you and telling you that I don't have money, just to see what you would do, right? There was one of my students, she said she doesn't have money. I knew she had the money. She has passed through my funnel, she has learned from me, so the trust is there. And when she came, she told me that she wanted to do this and I think I piqued her curiosity by, there was a statement I dropped for her. I was like, oh, just be careful so that you don't eventually get into someone that just wants to rip off your money and abandon you. Now, remember that I know that this is one of the problems that, or one of the questions that prospects have in their mind. So I had to like drop out that one. And what was the reason? The reason was just for me to get her to get on a session with me, because I know that once she comes on that session, I'm going to close her. But I needed her to get on a session, right? So when I dropped that stuff, she was like, please explain me that. Like, okay, see what's going to happen. Why not we hold a session whereby I explain these things better to you and all of that stuff? When would you be available for a call session? And she scheduled a session. And sorry, I don't know who's calling. So sorry, hold on, let me check my phone, please.
No, sorry. If nobody call.
Okay, no. I had to be sure if it was money. Yeah, it's my neighbor. She wants to plug her phone in, so.
Okay, they use Solar. They do have like.
Hey, no, I'm not using my solar now, Sha. My gen is on, but I still have my solar, Sha. So, but sorry, I will have to like just turn off the video to give her privacy and all. I get. So when she's out, I'll still turn on the video.
No problem.
Hope
That's
you
fine.
don't mind.
At all.
So now for the experience aspect, so I was talking about objection handling, like I was explaining to you. So when the lady came and she said she didn't have money, I knew that it was not about the money, right? Because we've interacted before. She says she wants to get started and the money is there. So but when I told her, I now asked her a question. I said, you telling me that you don't have money, but I know you do have the money and I know you want to get started. But saying you don't have the money is, there are two things involved. So right now, it's either you're telling me you don't have the money because you don't feel that it's worth it, explaining to you like this stuff you are buying now is not worth the amount of money, or secondly, you have not spent that kind of money on getting online stuff and you feel like this is too much for you to do. So which one is the case? And she was like, she hasn't been able to spend, so that's the case. And I said, okay, so that means that this is a case of you don't understand the value of what you are going to be spending or what you are buying and all of that stuff. And she said, sort of, I knew it was about value, right? So she doesn't feel that the money is worth it. So the moment it was like that, I just knew how to eventually close that session, right? I just thought, okay, fine. So this is what it's going to be. Let me explain to you what you are going to be getting when you eventually make this payment. And that was when I restacked the offer. And I stacked my offer for her in a clear way. And I explained to her, this is what you are going to be getting. And that's not just all. This training is going to teach you how to, and I talked about a training on YouTube. And the YouTube caught her attention. And the moment I understood that, oh, this is what she's really looking for, I capitalized on that and I kind of amplified it. And that was it. That was how I closed that particular sales. And she made payment, I think the next day in the evening, she made payment and she got started. So, and she has been able to make a couple of sales too, but she's just not really serious. She's studying medicine in, is it Madonna? Okay, I think she left Madonna. She's in ABJ now, one private university in ABJ. I can't remember. So, but when you of course know your prospects and you know their buying power, you can literally hold that. Yeah. Most times, what I do is sometimes I might even ask you, okay, sorry, so what do you do for a living? And you tell me, I'm like, okay, that's good, fantastic. So now, on an average, how much is your take home monthly? And then I can even ask you upfront. So let's say, for example, you are going to be getting started with this today. Like, what is your proposed budget? So that gives me that gives me, see, it is sales for a reason. It is sales for a reason. One thing I learned is that they say if he who has a corn and withholds it, the people will curse, right? So if you have something that is valuable and you solely know that this particular thing is going to help this person make their life better, so you have to do everything possible to make sure that they eventually get started with it, because at the end, on the long run, they are still going to be grateful to you, right? But if eventually, and that is another thing I'm learning about, so scarcity, urgency, it's a whole lot of things here. It's a whole lot of things here. But one of the things I say is, if I know that this thing is very valuable, I will do everything possible to make the person see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if I see that it's now in my own power to be able to know when to draw the line, to say, okay, this thing now that this person is going for, okay, right now, it's not just what they're not yet there. And then I can now decide to let the person go, and eventually they'll come back. I've had people like that. They run around and then they come back. They come back crying. That's the funny part. They come back crying. So, and at that point, maybe things have gotten expensive on our own end. There was a time I used to charge 20,000 naira for mentorship, but right now my mentorship is more of a subscription-based model. I do about 100,000 naira for a year, and then I do 50,000 naira for 3 months and 75 for 6 months. So I'm thinking of even pushing up the figures soon. So by the time I get to where I want to get to, I've been doing learning now. I've been paying for learning. I've been using my time to learn some other things. So no matter how they want to, and I have the experience as well. So very
Mm-hmm.
soon, I'm just trying to build a system. There's something I want to build a system on. I want to have a plug and play. Like when you come, looking at this get rich stuff that I've talked about, get rich quick. So want to transform this to a get rich quick opportunity, such that once you come, I'll give you the template. It's like a plug and play system. All you have to do is just to push in money to adverts, and then everything runs. So you are going to have like your emails written. You're going to have your email distance set up. You're going to have what again? Like you're going to have different adverts, like up to 5 different adverts written for you. You're going to have a training on how to come up with a compelling advert creative, like a whole lot of things, right? And these things are all get towards all you have to do is just to like put in the money, and then you are going to know, okay, if I then of course I'm trying to get, there's a funnel simulator, it's a software whereby I say, okay, if I spend 5,000 naira and this is what my funnel looks like, how much should I be making monthly? Then from there we can estimate that, okay, this is how much you're going to, right? Because it's going to be running through an email marketing funnel. So that's where I'm moving towards. And by the time I move towards this, all of these things are going to be free for people that pay for mentorship. And at that point, the mentorship is going to increase. The fee is going to increase. So it's no more going to be the normal fee again. So it's going
What
to
is
move up.
that?
So
Mm. I don't know what's happening. I think my network was also.
okay, your network. Oh, sorry. So then I talked about objection handling. So your experience on that will determine how much you will make. Now, let's take, for example, a newbie and you run adverts, let's say as you are, and I give you a certain amount of money and tell you to go and run adverts on Facebook. First of all, okay, you don't know how to run ads. Let's say you know how to run adverts like for affiliate marketing. You now go and run adverts, and the people start coming into your DM. Now, if you don't have that experience of converting them, if you don't know how to convert people from leads to customers, then the amount of money you make is determined on how well you can convert people. I don't know if you get. So most
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of those top affiliates that are making those 150K and all of that stuff, they already understand conversions. They already know how to handle objections. They know how to create offers. There's something called offer creation, which you will learn. So they know how to create offers. They know how to stack offers. They know how to, like, of course, the psychology of selling, influence, persuasion. They know all those things. And as a newbie who is just starting out, that one is just stacked against you, but you have a control over it. Now, remember, these two things are things that you have control over. All these factors are factors that you can control. So how fast you start making that huge amount of money is depending on how fast you learn, like how fast you get past through these phases and this factor. Because there are also phases. For the ones that are time-based, there are phases. For example, experience. And the next one is compounding. Compounding is also time-based. Like compounding is how long have you been in business, which is what most people don't talk about, right? So if I'm making about 150,000 naira weekly and I'm making about 750,000 naira weekly, how long have I been in business? If all everything is equal, that because there are people that also do some unethical things just to make money. Like they do spamming, contact spamming on WhatsApp, like where they just go around sending people messages and all of that stuff and try to coerce them into buying. Then they also do what we call emotional should I say I
Emotional
don't want to call it
blackmail.
deception, but yeah, not really, no, not really the emotional blackmail thing, but it's the call it, but it's not coming. So I call it deception, which is another problem that most affiliates marketers face. So they don't have a support system for the people that are selling to. Okay, so that I was trying to explain the principle of compounding. And I also talked about, yes, what it means is, let's take, for example, you start running an advert today, and your advert is getting 10 persons daily into your WhatsApp DM.
Okay.
And this 10 persons daily into your WhatsApp. I work with a 5-day work week rather. So just pardon with me. So 50 persons per week, that's about 200 persons in a month. That's 50 by 4. So what now, using this a statistical or rather mathematics that we do when it comes to sales conversion, there's a 1%, 1 to 3% conversion rate for every successful campaign. So at that, let's just take that we are going to work with 1%. Okay. So we are going to be looking at let's say that's about 2 sales per month, right? 2 sales in that month. And let's say you're selling a product that has a 30% commission, 30,000 naira commission, sorry. That is 50% commission. So let's say you're selling a product that gives you 30,000 naira. So that's about 60K, right? For that month. Okay, now, but let's look at it that, remember now, out of these 200 people that you've run this advert to and 2 converted, you have about 198 person that are still, you have about 198 persons that are still on your, should I say,
waiting list.
They haven't converted yet. They are still there, not converted yet, right? Maybe some of them now have told you, oh, so we have 198. Then the next added to this 198, right? And that makes it about 100 and, that's about 208, right? Yes. And then the next day you add another 10, 218. The next day you add. Now, the more you keep on, sometimes some days you might be able to get people like hot lead. So now looking at still at your conversion rate, now you are going to get, by the time you keep on doing this consistently, before you do it for up to 6 months or a year, you're going to get to a stage whereby people from the previous months have started converting. That means in a day you might be getting up to maybe 4 persons buying, maybe 1 new person buying, and maybe 3 other older persons that have been in your funnel that have been able to save their money, they now come and buy. I know you're getting the picture now. So by the time these 4 people buying in a day, that's 120K in one day. Now imagine if this thing is consistent, the figures get crazy, by the way. So you've seen how the whole making 750,000 naira in a week is kind of possible. So it's not something that happens to you the moment you just get started immediately. So it's something that compounds over time. So you get to a stage whereby it's working. And I tell people that with this knowledge, this is one thing I tell people, with this knowledge, it tells you that if I should take action to get started, then the action should be now. Because however you delay the process of getting started, you are still delaying the process of you making more money for yourself. Sorry. Sorry about that. So you are delaying the process of you making money for yourself, like how fast and how well you and how much money you make, right? So it all depends. Now, if you, and that's one thing I tell people, by the time you get started and you have that fire, you have that zeal, you want to start this thing, go ahead and get started with it. Don't try to like wait, till, I don't know, people dilly-dally a lot. You know, you have the money and you're still trying to consider a lot of things like, what if it doesn't work out? What if this? What if there's just a whole lot of what ifs. The thing is, our brains are wired in such a way that we are eventually going to be complacent of taking that decision that is going to push us into a place that is uncomfortable for us. Because a place of uncomfortability is where you are forced to learn things that you didn't know before. You are forced to implement these things, and you are trying to tell yourself that I'm going to fail at some of these things, but then I'm going to pick myself up. So your brain naturally doesn't want to go through that stress. So it's left for us to tell you that, hey, if I'm going to grow and develop past the phase where I am right now, if I am to be a better person than I am today, then I have to go through this painful process. Like sitting down to learn is hard. I think over the past, how many weeks, I've been able to do about 7 certifications from LinkedIn. One I finished 2 days ago, and I'm hoping to take 2 today. Like I'm supposed to take 2 exams today. Still on marketing and all of that stuff, right? Now, these things are not really necessary. Like, when I say it's not really necessary, it sounds like I'm countering myself, right? But from my experience in the online space and selling, it's not really necessary in the sense that I'm using it for positioning, right? I want to like move my career to sales and marketing. And if I'm going to be able to do that, I'm going to need something on paper. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
getting it now. I'm going to need something on paper to back up my SOP. So that's just one of the reasons why I'm doing that. And I'm also going to start sending connection requests to some top executives. And of course, you need to present yourself as an authority and someone that is serious and knows what you are doing. So if you are just coming to tell them that, hey, this is this without any proof, it just feels like you are blabbing. But by the time I give you a solution and then you go to my page and see that there is proof to back up the solution, that this person is serious and knows what they're doing. So it's just for a paper thing. It's not really something you should get your heads over. I tell my students that I'm doing this for myself. If you feel like you want to model after me, fine. But this thing is not going to push the money needle for you, right? It's just going to give you that position. I'm very high on positioning, authority building. I'm very high on it. So whatever that is going to make it easier for people to trust you, do it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is going to make it easier for people to trust you, just do it, right?
Yeah.
So leverage on the certificates that are there, the learning opportunities, get those things. Once I'm done with my learning stuff, I'm going to edit my LinkedIn banner and I'm going to slap those certifications on top of my banner. And it's just part of all those, positioning stuff and leveraging, nothing really serious, right? But that time that I'm leaving other things that I'm supposed to do now to go and start learning, to sit down, like to when I told one of my students that one stuff I did was 9 hours of learning. And they were like, how? I just told her that I didn't do this 9 hours in a day, but there are days that I've sat down from 7 o'clock till around 12, 1, 2, just to make sure that I learn through these things. And I'm doing it because I'm looking at time. I'm also trying to be fast with whatever action I'm taking. So how fast you do this is going to, because now, before I start sending out anything to top executives, I need to have finished and optimized my profile. So, and if I tell myself that, okay, I'm going to start sending out this thing to them by maybe second week of May, then that tells me that I just have between now and first week of May to make sure that I've been able to supercharge my profile, design whatever I want to design, change whatever I want to change, optimize my profile, and make sure that everything is ready for me to start sending out things to these people.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So now I talked about compounding. That's like one of the things I talked about. And I also talked about experience. I talked about input effort. Those are like factors that are going to affect how much you are going to, like, not really how much, it's going to affect making those huge amount of money. And lastly, I didn't talk about your advertising budget, but I feel that by now you would have known that, like, your adverts about 20 million naira in 1 week. There's a week Caleb made 20 million naira. And that
Wow.
was a discount. Yeah, there was a discount. That was a discount week. They ran a promo that period and he made that amount of money. Now, he had a lot of persons in his funnel. He has done business for like about 2 years then, right? He has done business for like 2 years. So, and he was spending about, I think the time he talked about, he said he was spending close to 300,000 naira a month on adverts. And he said for that campaign period, I think I think he said he doubled his expenses on ads. I can't really remember, but that period he was spending 300,000 naira on adverts, right? So, but just, I know when I talk about 300K, you go be like, it's too much, where I want to see that money. So let me just give you a breakdown on advertising. Advertising is more of budget and your goals. How much sales do you want to make? How much are you willing to bring out? Now, for me, when I got started with adverts, I started out with 2,000 naira. You can see the gap between 2,000 naira and 300,000 ba. Exactly. So I started out with 2,000 naira. And remember one thing I told you about leveraging on the money you have. Like if you're a salary earner, I will always advise if you can spend up to, there's a budget I always have for them. If they can spend up to that, then I would encourage going for that, right? But you shouldn't break your bank because you want to run adverts, right? Because
Yeah.
adverts are more like they convert
On
over
Facebook
time,
or
unless you
where?
are
Facebook and
anywhere.
Twitter.
There's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, I've literally run adverts on Twitter. I've run adverts on Facebook as well. I've run adverts on Instagram, right? I've done influencer marketing on Telegram. I've also done WhatsApp TVs, that is WhatsApp adverts using WhatsApp TVs. I've not
Yeah.
done influencer marketing on Twitter. I've not done that, but I've done influencer marketing on Telegram. I've done Instagram ads, Facebook ads, WhatsApp TV ads. I've done Twitter adverts as well. All of these things convert. All the times I've done it, they're converted for me, right? So now the amount of money you're going to spend on these differs. It depends on your budget, but there are some that have fixed price. For like the WhatsApp TVs, you are spending about 10,000 naira a day. The Telegram, I was spending about 7,000 naira a day. Then I normally run ads for like 3 to 5 days on either WhatsApp TV or Telegram. So 3 to 5 days is always good. Then I think my adverts on Instagram and my Twitter ads is in dollars. I get charged in dollars. I think I do a $2 daily budget. That's roughly about 1,000 something, 1,500 per day on Twitter adverts. I think I've gone up to $5 per day on Twitter ads. Yeah, that's roughly about 6.5. Then I've also, is this 6.5 or 3.5? Sorry, 3.5. 3.5 per day. I've also done Facebook ads. I think the highest I've gone on Facebook adverts is 5,000 naira per day. And that period, I think that campaign, I spent about 90,000 naira there. About my cost per, and what I was trying to tell you is that when I was doing this adverts, the amount I was spending to acquire one lead was about 90 naira for someone to come into my WhatsApp DM. I was spending about 98 naira. And then for that 98 naira that I spent, once I'm able to convert that person, I'm making about 30,000 naira, 31,250. That was what I was making for every conversion that I had. So, and if you subtract 31,000, if you subtract 90 from 31,250, you will see how much return on investment you are actually making, right? So my ROI was about 31,100 and blah, 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 right? So it shows you that advertising is a good investment. It's a good investment. Now, the very good thing about this is that, let's take, for example, you wanted to use the working model. Now I'm switching to wealth. Now, let's take, for example, you want to use the working model, like you want to work for these people, and then you want to eventually get paid, right? You are only limited to work 24 hours in a day. And we all know that you can't work for 24 hours a day. So let's even say that you are working for 12 hours. Let's say you're working for 12 hours. And then maybe you are working at, let's say you're working at an hourly rate of $20 per hour, and you're working for 12 hours. That's about that's about 200 per day, right? That's about $240 per day. Now, if you want to start scaling up this and you say, oh, this is a business model, you are only bound to asking for a raise. And we all know that two things are involved. It's either you get your raise or you get laid off. Now, it's actually a gamble. Now, your employer might be petty to say that you're not getting any raise. And we all know the concept of getting raise. It's either you do I think it's shoplifting or something. There's something it's called where you jump from one job to another. It's either you do that or you just get stuck on your current job and then hope that, okay, you would wait till it's promotion time. And of course, inflation is not smiling on anyone. So you have to multiplying your skills. Sorry, did you say something?
I said you just said inflation is not small. I said at all.
Okay. So, or you as let's say as an you can decide to multiply your skills, right? So you can decide to say, okay, let me multiply myself into 3 persons. You are right to teach these 3 persons how to do whatever you are doing. And at that point, you now start making up to that is 200 and okay, we talked about I think it was $640 that we talked about in a day, but so
Yeah,
$640 daily. So let's say you now start making 640, that is multiplied by 3, that's about 1,000 643, 3, 4, 12. I don't want to do much calculations here. 18, and then let's just say roughly, approximately, because this is not, I'm not trying to. So let's say approximately I'm making about $2,000 in a day when you multiply yourself into 3 persons, right? Now, this
yeah.
$2,000 in a day, which is a good one, right? But remember, you are also going to be paying the people you are multiplying. So money will have to leave from there as well. And but then there is a totally different model whereby you can literally control, you have control over, because now this person now, this place you have your 640. One day, one of them might just decide that, oh, I'm no more working for you. I've learned this thing. I want to work for myself, right? And get all the money. At that point, you don't have anything to do. Like you don't have any other option. You don't have a choice. It's now rigged against you. So it's more like you looking at controllable things that you can control, right? So now let's take, for example, the second model for you to build wealth is for you to actually leverage on selling. So selling is more like there's a formula for it. Your unit sold by your unit profit. So now let's take, for example, just like for this affiliate marketing stuff. Now you are making 30,000 for one conversion, right? That's your unit profit. So your unit sold depends on how much people that are able to come into your funnel and how much you are able to convert. So let's say, for example, you are converting, let's say you are spending 2,000 naira and you are converting one person daily. Now, so like I want to increase to 5,000. You might start making a conversion of 2 people daily, right? Which is 60K. Now you can now decide that, okay, fine. I want to start spending 10,000 naira in a day. You would see that, okay, the amount of money you are going to be making in a day has increased. So you can literally control whatever input factor it is to determine your desired outcome. So like that's just one of the best ways to leverage on wealth. And if you feel like, oh, you want our advice, you learn affiliate marketing, for you, you already have experience as I think it's banking also. I think you are into finance or something. Can I remember? It's banking, but
Yeah.
so you can have experience in banking, and maybe there are some things that you know that people don't know about banking. Maybe it's investment banking. Maybe it's something that you just feel like, okay, I can literally teach people these things and offer them value and help them get a desired. It might even be maybe real estate investment bank. I don't know, whatever. Like you are the one in the sector. You are the one that knows the experience you have and how you can convert it to a B2C business idea, because of course it's not going to be B2B, right? You can do B2B, but B2B, it's more, B2B is more confined. B2C is like where the money really is. You can still hit B2B well if you can start with B2C and convert the B2C to B2B and handle both B2B and B2C, right? But you already know how much, like what value or what knowledge you have. It's just now left for you to say, okay, I want to package this in form of an information product that I can sell to people. Now, the best form, like the very, 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 very first form of it, and the easiest one to get started is ebook or writing a book, right? So you write a book. One thing I've learned over time in sale is that it is not about the content of your book, right? Yes, the content it has to have quality, but it's not about the content. It's about your title. What is your book about? Now, people that are titling their books, most times they just call their books any kind of name. A little tweak. Now, your book title is like a headline title, and it has to have a subtitle. And now, each chapter of the book is going to get people on. And I think with that, I've been able to talk about everything about what most of the top affiliates are doing. So I believe that now you've been able to, or if you have any question, please go on. But I believe I've been able to touch point on everything that can help
Yes.
you, or rather how they are making the 750K in a week.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
now clear to you about how it works and the amount of work that goes in.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's not really easy as it
It's not
seems.
easy as they put it to.
Yeah, nothing good comes easy.
Ah,
So
I'm
do you
making it
have
very
any
easy.
questions so far?
No, no for now. No for now. No for now. Hey, hey, this is breaking again.
Really fast. What was I even supposed to talk about in this one? Okay, I think it was the time and money thing. How fast you make money depends on, it's solely dependent on you. I mean, whatever you don't pay for with time, or rather, whatever you don't pay for with your money, you are going to pay for it with time,
Yes, sir.
right? So it all depends now. I normally like tailoring this one specifically to the people that I'm talking to. It's not a general thing because we all have different time, not really time zone. We all have different free time, yes, to ourselves, and our earning capacity or the money we can literally leverage on and invest. It's also is also different, right? So
Yes.
so with that said, let's look at time. So you were saying you wanted both you and your spouse to get started with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so okay, so I'm going to like split this into two. So let's look at time. For time now, who has more time?
I think she does.
She does. How much time are we looking at for her?
Ah, in a day to have like 2 or 3 hours extra time.
For her,
Hmm.
okay, 2, 3 hours free time. Now for you, Uncle,
I can squeeze 2 hours extra.
two
No,
hours.
this
Uh,
Lagos traffic is something else. Last Thursday,
I
I
get.
did 5 hours.
You drive, bar.
Not no, I don't drive. I don't drive during the
If you
week.
don't drive, you can use that 5 hours in traffic to achieve something for yourself
Yeah.
in terms of learning on. Yeah, like that's how I see it. I tell people, when people start telling me that, hey, you don't have time, I don't have time, and I say, okay, let's look at the time. Give me a day-to-day rundown of how your day, an hourly rundown of how your day goes. Then they now start talking about the whole thing. I asked them, do you have break periods at work? They say yes. And I write that
Most times, most on
cashier, if they are front desk officers at let's say, you can use it to learn. So that time you're using to gossip, you can use it to learn something. So so the time in traffic can be used for something valuable, right? It can be for your. Remember that the goal is for you to to speed up your learning
yeah,
so that you can start implementing. Like whenever anybody comes, I tell them that if they ask me, oh, how if I start today, when can I start making money? I tell them, see, when you start making money is dependent on you. If you can speed up your learning process and then you start implementing ASAP, you start making money in no time. Let's say, for example, it was supposed to take 2 weeks to start making money. And you know that, okay, if I can learn within this, before that 2 weeks, I'll start making money. Or you can now say, oh, it take me 2 months to learn. And no wahala. After your 2 months, you are done learning. Your 2 weeks will start counting. I don't know if you get.
yeah,
So how fast you can get to learn, it's also depending on how fast you can start implementing, because if you can only implement what you've learned now, you can implement what you've learned. Okay, so let's look at so time 2 hours, 3 hours. No, the reason why I'm asking is I was thinking of splitting out the opportunity for you guys. Now, is it still you want to do the affiliate marketing, right?
Affiliate or anything that can get me to get money online. So.
I wanted to split it between two of you. I wanted you
Okay.
to go into freelance copywriting. I wanted one of you, I don't know which, that's what I want to determine now. I wanted one of you to go into freelance copywriting, and then
Okay.
the other person will move into affiliate marketing. Now, here is the reason.
Okay.
Both of these things are under sales.
Okay.
Both of these are under sales. Now, the copywriting is more like the online sales thing, whereby you are trying to sell to people using the power of words. And it's also going to make you now, if you get started as a freelance copywriter, you're going to get, although this one you're going to be earning in dollars, sure. So it's like
Okay.
a balance system. Let's take, for example, you are earning in dollars, and she has
Okay.
to be complementing in naira. Like both of you can combine. It's a joint stuff. I don't know, but
Yeah.
the way I'm thinking, you can eventually be making money from your what is it called? You can be making money from the dollar stuff, and when you convert it to naira, you can push some to her and say, okay, I'm going to give you this amount for you to put it into business, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the amount that you can literally give me back. Is that okay? So you
Yeah.
can now be like investing into it for, you can say 6 months, you can say let's say you can say for 1 year. It all depends. Now remember I told you about building a system whereby it's email marketing and all of that stuff. So you as a
Mm.
copywriter, you can eventually get to the stage whereby you write out copies for your full funnel. Now with your idea, knowledge of, because both of you are going to be developing your knowledge on sales and marketing. So both of you
Okay.
literally, I know that when one is in something, it's also good, but two, of course, two good heads, but two can literally break down mountains. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you get, so when both of you are like, okay, two of us are in this online space, two of us are in this sales game. She's learning affiliate marketing, like how to sell. She's on the forefront of like converting people, and you are the back end of writing the copies and all of that stuff. Like, I don't really know if it's all making sense, but it's a future-paced thing. So over time, you can have a joint academy. Like I think I do future pacing a lot. So most times I don't want to like give people kind of my own definition of how their dream should be. So I tend to like pause at some point. But future pacing, this is what it's going to look like. So over time, maybe at some point, you both of you can decide to come up with a joint should I say joint academy or coaching program. There's one guy on YouTube, I think he's and Harmony. I think they teach people financial literacy or something. I can't really remember. And I think they also talk about relationship as well. I can't remember. But they have a YouTube channel
Okay.
whereby they teach some of those things. And they have a good number of following. Of course, people that will pay money also to learn from them what they are doing, right? So you both of you can decide that, oh, we are going to be teaching people affiliate marketing and freelancing, or maybe I don't know. I don't know. It all depends, or maybe sales, because so it all depends. Now, how fast can you learn? How fast can you start seeing results and
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff, right? So that was what I was thinking of. But now the person that is going to be doing the freelancing might be the one with less time, right? The one with less time, unless we want to go through the route of money, right? If we want to go through the route of money, then anybody can do the affiliate marketing, since money is just money. But then whoever that is going to do it is also going to have time to be able to because when if you plug in money into this and then it starts running, you're also going to be looking at, okay, how can I optimize this to be better than what it is right now? You know, say, oh, okay, this advert is estimated to get clicks. Why am I not getting clicks? Okay, this copy is supposed to speak to this number of people. Why is it not really performing well? Okay, out of all these copies, this one seems to be the highest performing one. Okay, should we look at the audience, the people that are there? Oh, I'm targeting people in Lagos alone. okay, this advert is performing well. How about I add people in Abuja and see how they interact with this particular advert? Oh, Abuja, people are in Abuja interacting well with this advert. Okay, good. Increase to 3,000. Oh, nice. 3,000. I'm having a lot of people coming in. Okay, I think I can increase to 7,000. From 7,000, you can scale up to 10K and you can leave it at 10K for quite some time. 10K daily budget is. If you are spending 10,000 naira daily budget, that's about 300,000 naira in a month. I feel it's a comfortable place to be. So your aim is to be able to get to 10,000 naira daily budget. But starting out, you can start out with $1,000 or 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so it all depends on the amount of money you have. So I don't know if you can tell me like your budget based on your budget, so I can define something tailored to meet two of you. So I don't know what your budget is.
Let's start. No, let's start with me. If I want to do, I will start with the minimum first.
The minimum, like you mean for ads?
Yes, what?
Okay. No problem. But like before we had the call and all of that, so were you having a budget in mind for
Not
everything?
really. Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think for the affiliate marketing, the current course that I can recommend, although I'm going to be spending my own time too, right? I've not seen any other course currently that can offer everything that I want. Like there's a particular thing I'm looking for. And the course I got when I got started, it has not really been updated to how I want it to be. So I'm finding it very skeptical to recommend that particular stuff to people. So what
Okay.
I normally do is that I tell them you can just pay for 3 months mentorship,
Okay.
right? And then I can literally from the mentorship money, I would eventually get a course for them. There's a course in my mind. I've not used that course, but I want the gamble to be on me. Now, what do I mean? The course is worth 30,000 naira. So if you're paying for my 3 months mentorship, I'm going to also give you access to my own. There are other courses I have and all. But now, if I'm buying that course and I'm spending 30,000 naira, I'm left with only 20K. And now
Okay.
that 20K, if you split it out into 3 months, it's nothing to write home about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's more like I'm taking all the risk, but giving out, okay, hey, but since it's you, right, I'm going to get this course for you because I'll also need you to go through a couple of other courses first. So I
Mm-hmm.
want you to like so you know how this thing is going on from people that are around, because I know that particular course is like different trainings from different people combined together, like different life teachings from different people combined together. So I want you to hear something from other people in the industry. So not like that particular training is really going to have one core thing. It's going to teach you like everything about sales. Yeah, eventually going to be learning from me, right? So it's more like I want you to have a playbook in your hand, or I want you to have a textbook, and that's how I define it. I tell people that okay, you're going to have a textbook, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, right? So that's it. Aside the courses, there are other things that you are also going to get access to, of course, mentorship community, some books, like my recommended books, very important, and all of that stuff. Then for you, since you are going to be doing freelancing, I would advise you go for you have your laptop with you now, but
Yes, 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 yes.
you can go for the premium. That one you get to learn digital marketing, copywriting, social media management, UI UX design. There's also which other one am I forgetting? Technical writing, right? So it's more like so but what I always it's more like having 5 different courses. Yes, it's more like having 5 different courses in one particular program, right? But I always advise you start with one and then you stack them up over time. You get,
Okay.
yeah. So I think that one is going for I think around 36,500. Now the other one is going for oh okay. I think my video is off. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, good. The gen just went off.
Okay.
I might just go to switch, but we are almost at the end of it. So just for me to like take some questions and all. So but I'm looking at who has a better time. Um, so I think your wife is more on the better time to go through those things. Now,
Yeah,
another thing is how tech savvy is she? Like when I mean tech savvy, I'm just talking about laptop stuff and all.
not too much, yeah.
Okay, but like she can handle going through Facebook pages and all of that stuff.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Okay, no problem now. In that case, that one is not going to be an issue. So, but if she sees how people are doing it, she can literally replicate.
Yes, no. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I think that one settles that particular one.
Mm,
So left, okay, yeah. So for you now, looking at the stuff now, both is going to be since this one we are looking at 50, then this other one we are looking at 36.5. Um then this is the reason why I always ask for budget. Okay, so that's roughly this is roughly 86,500 for what is it called? For your learning materials.
okay, okay. I'll let you know. I'll speak to
So
that. Yeah.
okay, no problem. Then if we are going to be doing the what is it called? If we are going to be doing the is it the fast lane? Yeah. So if we're going to be doing the fast lane, it's going to cost more. That one we might need to have like another session on it so I can give you a breakdown, detailed breakdown on, because that one will involve she signing up for email service providers. Then it will involve hosting, like website hosting. It is also going to involve buying a domain, right? And then plus advert budget as well. Then it's also going to involve a couple of, I think, sales funnel builders. So some of these things are paid. I don't know if you get. So
Yeah,
that one is it's more like the advanced aspect of the affiliate marketing stuff, right? The major advantage you get from this one is that it gives you that leverage of or freedom of time. So all those time you will spend on like posting on your WhatsApp, like following up people and all of that stuff, everything is done for you automatically, right? Not like you won't get to like post on your status and all, but everything is done for you automatically and the follow-ups and all of that stuff.
yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So now for your own doesn't really have much. Like your own doesn't really have much. It's more of you learning how to like, of course, you have the experience already since you are in the banking sector, dealing with people and all. So it's just you trying to like, okay, you learn copywriting, how to write copies and all of that stuff. And then you start working for foreign clients. Of course, we teach you how to do client acquisition on LinkedIn. We also learn there's a training on it, Upwork Masterclass. Then that is aside the 5 different skills that are there. Then there is also I think there is also Facebook client acquisition system. Then LinkedIn is there. Then there is Upwork, like I mentioned. Then you get to learn how to write proposal. We also give out proposal templates. There is templates you can use to modify and swipe to write your proposals to clients. Yeah, I think that's that basically everything about Upwork and all. But the service you are going to be offering is copywriting. Now, since you have an experience in the banking sector, you can decide to be writing copies for financial, what is it called? Financial institutions, or maybe you can choose to work with fintech, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can choose to
Mm-hmm.
work with fintech companies. Yeah, they have money. Fintech have money. I think there's money in crypto.
Yeah, there should be. Mm.
Like when I mean money, I mean how high you can charge, right? You can charge
Yeah.
up to $1,500. You can charge up to $1,000 with these people for a project. Now, I know crypto Web3, those guys can splurge a good amount of money out for their copywriters. Then copywriters that are also in fintech also make money. I think another place you make money, info marketing, especially high tickets information products. There's money in it. Then if you, by the time you now start writing emails, like email marketing is like, that one has top money. Email marketing for, I think e-commerce, for e-commerce brands, they have money. The supplement brands also, there's huge money in that market, supplement market, and a whole lot of it. You just have to choose one. But the good thing about it is that copywriting is very easy to learn. The learning curve is low. It's very easy to do. It's just like research, 20% writing, although I call it 20% assembling. That's how I see, because your 80% is more like you researching on this area, like, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. You now say, okay, these people now, what problems are they facing? You go and research the problems they are facing. And then you now say, okay, how can I be a solution to their problem? You go around and then you get the solution to this problem, right? And then you write it out somewhere and all of that stuff. Then the other one too is you saying, okay, these people have found a solution to the problem, or this my particular product, what benefits is it going to give them? And then you go out there, you do your features. There's something called features and benefits, how you translate features into benefits. So the features into benefits are more like, okay, you are saying, okay, let's say, for example, the features of your smartphone, let's just use a phone, maybe an iPhone that has a 38 megapixel camera. Now that's a feature. So if you're writing copies for that particular product, for the product description, you won't just write it has a 38 megapixel camera. Like, that 8 megapixel camera, what does it mean? Like, what does it translate for the customer? What's the benefits they get? So the benefit is that you get you capture all the moments, like all your moments, without losing any moments, right? And you capture it in high quality, right? So this means that all your pictures are going to be smart, and you don't have to start looking for extra editing, right? So you don't have to start doing extra editing on the pictures for it to look really nice. You can post it straight up from the camera, right? So that's you trying to save them effort. There are 5 reasons why people buy things, right? They look for things that help them save money, make money, save effort, avoid effort, escape pain, and all of that, right? So now, if you can coin your product benefits to tailor or cater to one of these reasons, right? So if you can do it to cater to one of these reasons, then obviously it's going to solve that problem for them. Like, it's going to push them into buying. Now, let's take, for example, yes, it has 32 megapixel. Now, one of the problems they are going to face, or the objections they're going to have, is that it has 38 megapixel. Yes, I get high quality video, but then it's going to be the pictures are going to be high quality, which means they are going to consume more space on my phone. That now, in your event of trying to solve a problem for your customer, you've created another problem for them, right? Which is, now they are now thinking, I will now have to start going to go and buy extra memory card. But now when you tell them that, hey, and not just that, this particular product also has a whooping 250 gig inbuilt storage. What this means is that in as much as they are capturing your memories in high detail, you don't have to worry about missing any moments, because every moment you captured is stored in high quality. Right. So now at that point, they're like, oh, okay, nice. Now they are like, okay, yes, I think this is the phone. Because you are telling them that you can get higher resolution pictures or images or videos, and then you can also get these things. Like, and then you don't risk the risk of should I say, losing out on capturing some sweet moments because you ran out of memory. So you have sufficient memory to cater for whatever pictures you want. Now, there's a way people calculate. They'll be like, and this is what some companies do. If the picture, the highest quality, for example, a 40 megapixel camera captures one high quality picture at about, let's say, at about 20 megabytes. Now, 250 gig divided by 20 megabytes, they can now tell you that, oh, you can take about 200,000 pictures, or that means you have a space of 1 million plus photos. Now, the numbers also work. Numbers also work when doing this thing. So in their head, now they'd be like, 1 million pictures, that's huge. That's big, right? So you're not just telling them that you can't run out of pictures. You're telling them that, I'm sorry, you can't run out of storage. But you're also telling them that, oh, you can't run out of storage by this amount. So you're also telling that, and you can capture this amount of, it depends on how you want to come. That's why I told you the copywriting is more of research. So now for this stuff I've done now, this particular scenario I just created. So I went from the angle of writing the benefits to showcase a particular problem I'm helping them solve, and then counter an objection that they might possibly likely have. I don't know if you get now, and aside countering an objection and all of that stuff, now when I'm countering the objection, now if you go through the number routes whereby you're telling them that this is the amount of picture you can capture, so you're giving them a vision of how sweet life is going to be when they purchase the project. And if you're coming from the angle of, hey, you're not going to run out of storage space, so you're coming from the picture of the hey, this is the problem you are going to prevent, or this is the solution you're going to be getting. So it has to, it depends on the angle you are coming from and all of that. So like, it's just a copywriting thing generally. And the good thing is that, of course, your wife will get to learn copywriting as well when she gets started with affiliate marketing, which is a bonus and plus to her. And for you too, you are going to be learning. So both of you, at some point, it's going to be like a joint stuff. She comes to you, come to her, you put her together, you come up with marketing angles, come up with hooks, come up with strategies for the campaign to make it successful and all. And by the time you guys do this consistently for like 3 months, you will get a grab of it. And if you can stay in the game for 5 years, you'll be glad you did.
Okay. All right. I'll give her the feedback and tell her to read into it.
Okay, sure, no problem. So like when exactly are we looking at getting a feedback from you?
Let me speak with her maybe because of this week, sure. I'll let you know. Thank
Okay,
you
no
so much.
problem. You're welcome. Anytime it is. So I'm much available.
Okay.
You just have to like pre-inform if, or better still, when you get started eventually, if you guys want to go through the route of the email, whatever, I have a detailed breakdown of that particular funnel, including the prices and all. It's not in my head, right?
Okay.
So if she wants to go through that route, the fast method, then we can now look at how much it's going to cost, because that one will cost money, I won't lie. But the other method, like she will make money, but she has to dedicate her time to it. So for that other one, she might be dedicating at least 2 to 3 hours daily, which is good. Then, but for the email, it might just take her about 30 minutes, 1 hour to like look at certain things. So she might, in the morning, she wake up, go through the email, check her email service provider to make sure that everything is working well. Then look at her adverts to see if there's anything she needs to change and optimize. Look at this, and that's all. Then go back to her conversion system to see how well people are buying and all.